Even though Robert Griffin III, Robert, RG3, has a point, there's also some truth to what Coach Stefanski is doing. I'm gonna make my point there, then I'm gonna come back. Coach Stefanski knows that it's going to take time.
That's true.
You have to have grace with growth.
Cam Newton just lit a match and threw it straight into Cleveland's locker room. He basically said what everyone's been whispering. Kevin Stefanski's quarterback vision is fuzzier than an old flip phone camera. After all this time, the man still can't figure out who his real quarterback is. And now Cam's warning that the Browns' future might be spiraling down the drain before Shedeur even gets a fair shot. This isn't just messy, it's chaotic, and the timing, brutal. Cleveland might need a fire extinguisher before sunrise. If you're feeling this drama, hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps the channel grow. Because let's be real, Cleveland has officially entered that phase of total football denial. Everyone's claiming there's some master plan in motion, but nobody can actually explain what it is. And now Cam Newton, of all people, strolls in, drops a truth bomb, and exposes the chaos like a reality TV host pulling back the curtain. He straight up said the Browns' so-called quarterback strategy looks less like a plan and more like a late-night caffeine-fueled group project that nobody finished. You know the kind? Everyone talks big, nobody delivers, and the deadline was yesterday. Stefanski's got this never-ending carousel of quarterbacks spinning like he's playing musical chairs with the team's future. Every season it's the same. New name, same disaster, and somehow he's still talking about trusting the process. Cam didn't even need to shout. He just drew the picture perfectly. Stefanski standing on a tightrope, juggling 2 footballs and an unemployment letter, praying nobody sees that the rope's already snapping. The man stuck between wanting to look patient and not wanting to look clueless, and Cam just made sure the whole league's watching. Cleveland's not just under pressure now, they're on the edge of implosion. And here's the thing.
When you have a situation that you have in Cleveland where you traded your veteran quarterback, now you're forced to be in this situation where you have to be.
Cam's not wrong. Stefanski's issue isn't that he's clueless, it's that he's too safe. The man treats his quarterbacks like they're fragile art pieces, giving them all this endless grace to grow, which sounds deep until you realize it means sitting through 3 painful quarters of missed throws and calling it a learning experience. This is the NFL, not a self-improvement seminar. Cleveland didn't trade away its veteran safety net just to play emotional therapy sessions on Sundays. Stefanski's whole vibe screams, look busy and hope nobody notices. His unspoken motto might as well be, it's your team until it's not. That pep talk sounds fine until the scoreboard starts looking like a high school algebra problem nobody studied for. And Cam Newton, he cuts straight to the truth. Grace is nice, but losing gets loud. You can't preach patience in a city that treats winning streaks like rare sightings.
He likes him. Because every chance he gets, he shows it. Well, Coach, you guys are getting your ass kicked. You don't put your backups in? That's not my focus right now. When it comes to Shedeur, like, he gets serious. I was tripping for a little bit. So I said, let me watch his other interviews. And his other interviews about other questions from other players, it don't be like that. And I'm trying to think, okay, so you got a rookie quarterback, right? That everybody keeps talking about. If you don't think the brother's that good, let him go out there and show it. But I think he's scared that if Shedeur goes out there and looks good, he might not look like he knows what he's doing. Because why you been ain't play this young quarterback? See, the problem, you can't break him.
Right.
I talked to Shedeur. I know how he is. You can't break.
The longer Stefanski drags this out, the louder that ticking clock behind him gets. What started as a quiet reminder is turning into a full-blown countdown on his coaching career. Because let's be honest, how many times can you say we're figuring it out before everyone realizes you never had it figured out? At some point, we're rebuilding just sounds like we're bad, but with fancy paperwork. And right in the middle of this storm sits Shedeur Sanders, cool and quiet, like the plot twist everyone feels coming. He hasn't even taken a snap in Cleveland, yet somehow he's already the topic of every sideline whisper. Cam just threw his name into the mix like, you're losing anyway, might as well see what the kids got. That one line alone just changed the whole temperature in Cleveland. And honestly, it's hard to even argue with Cam on this one, because if Cleveland's quarterback situation
knows that the worst thing that you could do is alter a person's confidence by putting that person on a short leash. Yeah. What he's trying to do is give all grace to say, hey, this is your team. This is your job to lose, right? Mm-hmm. But here's my question to Coach Stefanski. How long are you willing to wait? Because
keeps looking like a car stuck in neutral. What's the worst that could happen? Another loss? Please! That's practically Cleveland's love language at this point. When the team's identity becomes, we almost had it, you know something's broken. And now even Bailey Zappe's name is being tossed around. That says everything you need to know. When your backup starts trending, that's not strategy anymore. It's panic with a playbook. It's like the Browns entered a cooking competition and still managed to burn water. But Stefanski's standing there insisting, relax, the recipe's fine. Meanwhile, while Stefanski's too busy protecting his starters' confidence, the rest of the league's sprinting past. Other teams are adjusting, evolving, winning. And Cleveland's over here delivering the same tired speeches about growth, while fans are screaming, score some touchdowns already. It's wild. The city doesn't need another pep talk. They need proof that someone actually knows what they're doing. But here's where it gets real messy. Stefanski's dilemma isn't even just about who plays quarterback anymore. It's about who he trusts.
If we keep losing games, what are we really doing?
Yeah.
Because for sake of conversation, it ain't like Shedeur Sanders or Bailey Zappe can do any worse. Y'all still losing.
Yeah.
Word on the street is that Stefanski shares the same agent as a few college coaches who used to have ties to Dylan Gabriel. And suddenly it's starting to sound like an episode of NFL Conspiracy Files. The whispers are getting louder. Is Stefanski loyal to his system or to his network? Because if you're picking quarterbacks like you're hiring cousins at the family reunion, that's not strategy, that's nepotism with shoulder pads. Maybe Cleveland's playbook needs a LinkedIn login at this point. Because if those behind-the-scenes connections are influencing football choices, then this isn't about building a winning roster. It's about career insurance. When coaches start picking players that make their agents smile instead of the fans cheer, it stops being a team. It becomes a PR agency wearing helmets. And that's exactly what Cam was hinting at. Stefanski's problem isn't just picking the wrong quarterback, it's picking the wrong reasons. It's wild how Cleveland keeps pretending that any quarterback could actually survive in that offense. You could drop in Shedeur, Bailey, or even prime Peyton Manning himself, and they'd still be throwing passes straight into the void.
He is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur. I guarantee you Bailey Zappe is now, and they're not putting it up on the website, I guarantee he'll dress at Pittsburgh and he will be second in command at that position. This is Kevin Stefanski showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. And above all, he fears his...
Nobody's catching, nobody's blocking, and half the time it looks like the receivers forgot which side of the field they're on. This isn't just bad quarterbacking, it's bad football, plain and simple. And yes, Stefanski's grace with growth speech might sound noble, but the scoreboard doesn't hand out moral victories. You can't sell patience in a city that's tired of paying for heartbreak. Fans aren't buying hope anymore, they're buying misery with season tickets. The real comedy is how Cleveland somehow keeps turning potential into purgatory. Every single season starts with a glimmer of promise, new energy, new slogans, and ends the same way. Post-game pressers full of recycled optimism and forced smiles. It's like watching a romantic comedy that refuses to give you the happy ending, no matter how many sequels they make. Stefanski keeps saying he's building something, but no one, not even his own roster, seems to know what.
It seems personal. It might not be personal for Kevin Stefanski, but it appears personal. And it's one of those situations where it's like, Kevin Stefanski, we don't care what...
From the outside, it looks like he's been rearranging the same broken puzzle pieces for years. not realizing they came from two different boxes. You can almost picture him pacing with that clipboard, convincing himself it'll all click any day now. But that day never comes. And honestly, there's something tragically poetic about it. Every game, every snap is another second ticking off Stefanski's coaching clock. The irony? The man built an offense designed for control. Careful, structured, safe. But now he's losing control of everything that actually matters. When Cam said that ticking sound might just be a bomb, he wasn't exaggerating. You can almost see the smoke rising already, because once the fans turn on you in Cleveland, it's game over. Cleveland's fan base has the patience of a microwave. Hot 1 second, ice cold the next. They'll chant your name like you're a hero on Sunday, then demand your resignation by Thursday.
You're telling us because your actions speak so loud, we can't even hear what you're saying. Your actions speak crazy loud. Like, if Shedeur Sanders was favored in your eyes, one, you'd speak better than saying, that's not my focus. What the hell you mean it's not your focus? Roster construction is your focus. The backup quarterback is your focus. Backups on the roster are your focus. Everything that dictates who plays in the game on Sunday, Kevin Stefanski, that should be your focus. How can it not be your focus? Furthermore, 2-5, Stefanski knew he was going to get asked this question.
That's the Cleveland cycle. So now Stefanski's stuck in the worst spot possible. Too scared to take a bold shot. Too desperate to stay predictable. He's babysitting his quarterback's confidence like it's made of glass while his own job security is vanishing faster than free beer at a tailgate party. Meanwhile, that locker room's got to be asking the same question as everyone else. When's the change coming? And if it's not a new quarterback, is it a new coach? Because Cam Newton slipped in that subtle line that hit like a punch. Maybe it's not just the quarterback that needs replacing. Maybe the whole playbook needs to be thrown out and rewritten from scratch. But here's the cruel reality. Cleveland isn't exactly the dream destination for anyone right now. That offense doesn't scream QB paradise. It screams career hazard zone. It's not about arm strength or confidence. It's about a system that feels allergic to momentum. And that's the part Stefanski just doesn't get. You can't keep auditioning quarterbacks for a broken script. It's like switching drivers when the car doesn't even have wheels.
The quarterback after, only 9 points are scored and how the quarterback did. Can you just address, and especially because of your situation with Shedeur and so many people clamoring for him and wanting to see him, do you have thoughts on how the offensive problems are run much deeper right now than quarterback, and that switching out the quarterback might not solve what you have going on here?
Yeah, I think just the big focus for us, Mary Kay, is we have to be better in all areas, players, coaches, you name it. Obviously, Dylan is in his second start.
At some point, you have to stop blaming the guy behind the wheel and admit the problems under the hood. Cleveland's offense looks like a group project where nobody exchanged phone numbers. The receivers are running one direction, the quarterback's throwing the other, and the offensive line, they're doing some kind of interpretive dance routine instead of blocking. Every drive looks like a blooper reel happening live on national TV. The fans can see it. The analysts can see it. Even the opponents can see it.
Question every Browns fan is asking: why won't Kevin Stefanski give Shedeur Sanders a shot? The offense can't score, the quarterback room's a mess, and the one guy with the energy and leadership is stuck on the sideline. Getting ridiculous. At this point, in my opinion, I'm believing Kevin 100% do not believe or even like Shedeur. That's why he's doing it, and I'm pretty sure it looks like he's making it personal. I don't know why he's making it personal, but it seems like he is making not playing Shedeur a personal thing and not a logical coaching move to help.
And they're loving every second of the chaos. The Browns' play calling has turned into the NFL's best free entertainment. Watching Cleveland's offense is like watching someone microwave a frozen pizza for the 5th time and still acting shocked when it comes out soggy. It's still cold in the middle, just like that frozen pizza Cleveland keeps reheating. But let's be real, Cam Newton's not just roasting for laughs. Beneath the jokes, he's waving a big flashing sign that says, "Fix this before it's too late." Because if Stefanski keeps riding this train of mediocrity, it's not just going to crash, it's going to derail in spectacular fashion, probably during a primetime game when the whole country's watching. And the worst part? He's right. That ticking sound haunting Cleveland isn't just pressure. It's accountability, and it's getting louder with every passing week. Every incomplete throw, every wasted drive, every "we'll get him next time."
When they come and say things about Shedeur Sanders, all you have to do is say, look, I get it. Shedeur has a very, big personality and he's known globally, right? But I know Shedeur Sanders as a person, and as what I see here. He works hard, he's intelligent, he puts the work in, he's humble, he's a great teammate, and all of those things, I hope you guys get an opportunity to see that eventually when he gets on the field. And guess what? It would diffuse all bad articles and people would go away. But since you won't say his name, the vultures circle.
Adds another beat to that countdown. The Browns start every season hopeful, spiral into frustration, blame the quarterback, bench the quarterback, still lose, then fire the coach, and somehow act shocked every time it happens. It's not a rebuild anymore, it's reruns. Cleveland's basically a sports sitcom stuck on an endless loop with no finale. Cam didn't expose some scandal, he just pointed out the truth everyone's been politely ignoring. Stefanski's trying to play chess in a room full of people who barely understand checkers. He's overthinking strategy while the scoreboard is screaming reality. The man's talking about long-term growth while his short-term record looks like a highlight reel for other teams. And honestly,
We seen this in training camp, man. He was overthrowing, throwing interceptions, and not reading the defense in training camp. So like I said, I'm thinking it's more personal with Kevin now, not to play Shedeur. You sit here and gotta pick a player in the 3rd round when he projected the 4th, the 5th, the 6th round, and then you had a player projected to be in the 1st round, and you draft him in the 5th round. You gotta prove that Dylan Gabriel, all that talk you said, is your guy.
That's what makes it so sad. You can tell Stefanski means well. He genuinely believes in his system, in his methods, in this idea of trusting the process. But belief doesn't buy you time in the NFL. Wins do. And right now, Cleveland's record doesn't reflect belief. It reflects confusion. Every "we'll fix it" speech just makes the silence afterward hit harder because nobody believes it anymore. Cam's words hit different because they came from someone who's lived it. He knows the grind, the pressure, the tightrope between development and disaster, and his warning couldn't be clearer. If Stefanski keeps being polite to failure, it's going to start feeling like home. The cruel part, Cleveland will probably figure it out someday. Just not like this, because every time you think the Browns have hit rock bottom, they grab a shovel and start digging deeper. It's almost impressive, a franchise so committed to chaos that even time seems scared to move forward. Every single year, it's the same story. New hope, same heartbreak. The city gets hyped, the fans believe, and by mid-season, reality hits harder than a blitz on 3rd down. And now Cam Newton's comments, he just tossed gasoline straight onto the fire. Because when a player like Cam says it out loud,
Stefanski full of shit. That's the type of coach that you talk about instilling confidence into your players. How do you think that makes Shedeur feel? I don't know who the backup is. Yeah. You got to be kidding me. You really gonna bring up Bailey Zappi from the practice squad and make him the backup over me and I've been on the active roster? Either Kevin Stefanski thinks Shedeur Sanders is Magic City parking lot, straight ass, or he just don't like him. This is the perfect example of take all your confidence away from a player. He must got some pictures or some evidence on Jimmy Haslam. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know who the backup is. Bro, listen, players in the locker room that like Shedeur off of that comment, they don't mess with Kevin Stefanski. They don't fuck, because you are really...
It stops being rumor, it becomes reality. Suddenly, all eyes are locked on Kevin Stefanski like he's the next contestant on a survival show, and everyone's waiting to see which bad decision finally gets him voted off the island. And when that moment comes, oh, it's never quiet. It comes with messy headlines, locker room leaks, anonymous sources, and that painfully awkward press conference where everyone suddenly starts talking about fresh direction and new energy. The same script, different season. So maybe, just maybe, Cam wasn't trying to embarrass Stefanski at all. Maybe he was tossing him a lifeline in public, because sometimes the only way to save your job is to stop protecting it and start fighting for it. Cleveland doesn't need another carefully worded explanation. They need execution. They don't want sermons about trusting the process. They want proof that the process actually works. Fans don't care about motivational speeches anymore. They care about seeing points on the board and a team that actually looks like it wants to win.
Understand that Shedeur Sanders is being racially profiled, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL, then you don't understand. Kevin Stefanski is definitely trying to make sure this man's career does not flourish. He don't, how Dylan Gabriel as a QB2 got first team reps and everything. Shedeur, he's QB2 and you don't give it to him. Like everything that somebody got to step in. Something has to be done. Browns fans, y'all need to boycott Cleveland, the football team, complete.
Until that happens, it doesn't matter who lines up under center, Shedeur Sanders, Bailey Zapp, or even a brave fan from Section 112. They're all just passengers on a ship that's taking on water fast. And if Stefanski doesn't start plugging those holes soon, the next ticking sound in Cleveland won't be the game clock. It'll be the sound of his time running out. Because in this city, the line between patience and purgatory is just one more loss away. Cam Newton might have just said what everyone else was too scared to. Cleveland's countdown has already started. So what do you think? Did Cam cross the line, or did he finally say what needed to be said? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like, subscribe, and share if you're riding with the truth, and we'll see you on the next one.